Hello, hello, hello. This is Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist. And yes, it is Fat Loss Friday, and I have missed you guys. I have been working my butt off on a couple of big projects and really framing things up to help more people in a bigger way. But that's another conversation, and we'll come back to that. And also, before I share with you what I refer to as the difference between transition and transformation when it comes to your health and your weight, that's going to be very helpful for many people. I believe it's one of those things that if you're listening to this live or you're catching a replay, you go, you know what? I'm glad I caught that. He was speaking to me. So stay right there. But first, for those of you who have ordered the Diet Free Life workbook, keep an eye out if you're getting this or whenever you get it for an email that will give you access to a video, an accompanying video, where I walk you through each and every page of that workbook, if you know what I mean. Okay, so if you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, if you know what I mean. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. And if you have not, if you don't receive that, then reach out to us and we will do a double check and make sure we get that to you. Now, if you're new to all of this, and uh, please share a comment, let me know who you are. If you got questions, hey, reach out because we are here to help you. We got some big things coming up. I have a seminar, a free online seminar I'm going to do or make available called Cholesterol Truths, and it's going to be free. But this is why I'm talking about cholesterol as well as saturated fat. Real short is that in the world of nutrition, there's a hypothesis, right? And this hypothesis came about and became cemented around 1961. And the hypothesis said that if you eat fat, saturated fat, and if you eat cholesterol, that is what's going to cause you to increase your risk of myocardial infarction, aka heart attack, coronary disease, and then that became it became the go-to. The sad part about all of that is that there was never any real evidence, cause and effect, for that to be placed into policy. It's really an injustice. I mean, it 1000% is. And I'm going to share with you from whence all of this came about, the history to how we got into this mindset, who were the key people that made all of this happen, and why, even though we know today that it's flawed information, that is not legit, that uh, you know what I mean? It's one of those things like, why is it still circulating? Why is it still part of the belief system that is out there? Oh, well, I'm gonna share it with you. I'm telling you, it's gonna blow your mind. Anyone that you know that's taking statins, anyone that's concerned with saturated fat, anyone who wants to know the truth, you don't want to miss that. So you can go to our website at dietfreelife.com and you can sign up for the newsletter so that you are alerted, or you can go to our YouTube channel, just subscribe and then hit the bell so that you get notified whenever we upload any information, and then you'll be notified because I will do like a preamble before it goes live, but it's free. And anyone who's thinking about their health, anyone, if you're a registered dietitian, if you're a physician, if you're a lawyer, doctor, if you're just someone who cares about their health and it really matters what you eat, don't miss the seminar. Okay, well, let's get to the point that I want to share with you. And that is, when you look at social media and you see people share before and afters, before and after is based on a complete transformation. That means that they started something and they completed that something, and here's the results, right? So I started at 240 pounds, and now they're living life at 140 pounds. Let's see what your body looked like, and then you transformed because we're at the outcome. So a transformation to me is cool, right? Um, it's like Beyonce, when she was a little girl, she wanted to be a singer. That's the before. The transformation took place, and she's winning Grammys, and that's where she is today. But I'm always and have always been more interested in the transitioning phase. Transformation's cool, but the real story, the real work, the real challenge, the real ups and downs takes place in the transition phase, right? So if you look at a transgender, someone who wants to go from being a biological or they're a biological female, that's how they were born, and they want to transition to being identified as a male, right? Now, in that transitional phase, there's a lot that takes place. But when it finally comes to completion, that's we now look at it as a transformation. And here's the take home that and why I'm sharing this today. Like, I'm currently doing a challenge. It's a 30-day challenge, my own personal challenge. And I'll share with you right before we end exactly what I'm doing for my challenge. And if you want to join me, hey, join me. I have a few people that heard me talk about this and they join me. Now, this is not easy. It is not for your grandma. It is not for the people who aren't sure what they want to do, but because it's a commitment. And it's one of those things where you do it because you said you're going to do it and you stay true to yourself and you don't tell yourself you're going to do it and then don't do it, right? It's like you meet people and they say, well, I'm going to lose this weight, and you never see them do it. They just talk and they get in the habit of lying to themselves and being okay with saying they're going to do something and never do it. And they live a big part of their life like that. And that's not a dig on anyone, because it can happen to anybody. You say, hey, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to go for a walk. And then let's say you oversleep. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. And there's no consequence. Well, the 30-day challenge that I'm on, there is no room for error, because I am doing exactly what I said I would do. And the take home for a lot of people is that I don't like it most of the time. I get bored with the food that I'm eating most of the time. I get really frustrated and feel kind of pissed off a little bit at times. And then there's times where I feel absolutely amazing. But I chose to do this challenge. Now, when the challenge is over, a transformation would have taken place. My goal was to drop an inch in my waist at the 14-day mark. I was halfway mark yesterday. I dropped that inch that I wanted off my waist. So I'm happy with that. That was like one of my goals as far as the transformation. But here's where the power is. Here's what I want you to get. The transition phase. Because that's the dark phase sometimes. That's the phase when you go, man, why am I doing this? It's like I was just talking to a coach who I want to give a big shout out to, Natasha. She's also, she heard me say I'm doing the challenge. And Natasha, big props to you. It's not easy, but she's with me. I'm on day 16 and we're both in the transitional phase. And in the transitional phase, there's a lot of challenges. Well, here she is. She's not drinking alcohol, which is one of the things that I'm not doing. And she gets invited to a really nice winery to celebrate her dad's birthday. Big deal. And I think her brother's big deal. And most people would go, hey, what is one glass of wine going to do? It's not going to hurt me. Well, see, that's the difference between the Michael Jordans, the me's, and a lot of you and other people. Once we commit, we're all in. Right? I could drink. I'm by myself all the time. I go to sleep practically, 4 or 5 nights a week by myself. Other than that, I have my kids. So there's no one around. There's no one to watch me have a drink. I could drink, but that's not why I'm doing this. It's about what I'm aware of and what I'm in control of. I'm not going to do it. Right? And everybody can do this. And I think the difference, or the thing that can make it possible for you to do it, if you feel like you, in your mind right now, you're going, oh, I can't do it. Oh, that could be too tough. Oh, well, Robert, you're just stronger. Oh, Robert, you have more discipline. You'll come up with all of these recordings in your head. And reality is that you can. Just remind yourself it's okay to be pissed off. It's okay to feel like you're missing out. It's okay to be frustrated. But stick to what you say you're going to do. and you will feel pretty good about it. So, for those of you who are in transition, I want you to think of it as transition. You don't got to like it, it doesn't have to be fun, it doesn't have to look like the commercials when people take a pill or a supplement and they lose weight. It's going to be work. It's one of those things where, you know, and I'm almost done, I promise. But when I travel and I'm doing business with other guys, right? I'm speaking 100% about men. And or I'm getting ready to potentially do some business with some guy. Okay? This could be the same for women, but I'm talking about a guy. And I get to know the guy, and the next thing you know, we go out to eat. And let's say this man is married. Well, he's married, which means he made a commitment, unless there's something I don't know. But let's say that it's clear that he made a commitment that he is only with his wife and his wife is only with him, and that's a big part of their marriage. And so if I'm out with this guy and I watch him hit on other women, pick up on other women, maybe even get with some other woman, in my mind I'm thinking if he can verbally make a commitment to his wife and I can watch him play and do what he's doing, who's to say he won't do that to me when it comes to commitments he makes to me about business? Now, I'm not saying this is the case for everybody. I'm just saying that I definitely think about that. I do. I look at what he's doing in private and I go, okay. So is he going to really be committed to me when it comes to business, or is that's part of his character? And again, nobody's perfect. Nobody. We all make mistakes. Okay, what we really do, all of us. But those are tell signs. And so I really don't care what he's doing, but I'm thinking how his commitment to me is going to is he really gonna be committed? I don't know. So I'm questioning it a little bit. And I got my eyes wide open, my ears are wide open, and I'm gonna pay close attention to this guy because I'm watching him kiss his wife and say how much I love you. But then I'm watching him do the total opposite and violate what he told her he would not violate. It does say something. So the way my recommendation to you, because even if you've lied to yourself in the past, you can change all of that. When you make a commitment, like a challenge, do everything in your potential power to follow through. If you say you're going to eat a certain way for a period of time, well, complete the time. Now you've transformed. There are going to be some transformations that take place. But in the middle of all of that, it's important that whatever you say you're going to do, that you do it or acknowledge it, even if you fall short, right? Let's say you don't do so well, but just be honest about it. And if you're honest about it, then you move on, right? I mean, I work with a lot of clients. Some of them I don't work with for a while. I watch them gain their weight back and then some, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. What's important is if they can be okay with it, accept where they are, and then let's jump back on the horse because the horse is not dead, right? It's not. So if it's not, let's get back on it. You still got it in you to be successful? Let's go. Let's go. The cool part is that you know what it's like to fall off the horse. You have an experience with that. And if you have an experience falling off the horse, hey, okay, let's go. So as I share this, even with coaches, you guys listen to me. When you're working with a client, it helps if they understand what I'm sharing. And that is the difference, to include what it is, of a transition phase and a transformation phase. Most of us are in the transition phase, and that's going to be work, even when it's pretty easy and smooth, right? But with Diet Free Life, everything, I mean, we have structure, but everything is on the table. All things can be part of, when I say all things, I'm talking about all foods. There's nothing forbidden. We meet everybody right where they are. You can make it work no matter what your situation, no matter what your circumstance, no matter what your cash flow is like. You can make it work. So, anyway, I just want to encourage those of you who are in the transition phase to like keep your head up and keep going for it, keep the grind alive. Those of you who fall off the horse, it's okay. You can get back on. That horse is not dead. And those of you who are thinking about going into the transition phase, hey, let's go into the transition phase. Let's do it. Begin your transition now. This is a good time because come October, right, as I record this on September 16, 2022, I realize that October is right around the corner, which means Thanksgiving follows, right? Which before that you had Halloween. And then something happens with this country and a lot of people around the world. The last thing they think about is transitioning, losing weight, improving health. And they put it off until January. And we continue to cycle each and every year. When are we going to make the change? Well, education, I believe, is the leading component that makes it possible for you to not only make the change, but secure the change, meaning establish habits that will help you not go back to your old ways, but will put you in a position to thrive. So there you have it. I hope that was helpful. I really do. Transitioning is a big deal. And for those of you who caught me live, I'm glad you caught me live. Thank you very much. This was fun. Um, Now I see a couple comments. I'm just going to read. Someone says, "Amen. The transition is where the work is happening." Amen. Yes, the transformation is when we arrive. The transition is when I get on the plane. The transformation is when I land and I'm safe. And some things can happen, and you can sometimes physically see the transformation. Now, when it comes to eating differently, being more active, thinking more optimistically, all of those things are going to be play a big role in what your transformation looks like. But the work is in the transition. Someone says, "Do you believe if I did your challenge, I would see a transformation?" Absolutely. That's right. I almost forgot to tell you guys what I'm doing. Tell me exactly what to eat when. Tell me exactly exercise I can do. I'll do it. 30 days, I can do anything. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Someone else says character counts. Jim Rome says never make a good deal with a bad guy. Woo. Okay. So let me just share with you guys what I'm doing. Okay, it's real short. Four things. When I first wake up in the morning, before I look at my phone or before I turn on my computer, I pray. You can call it meditation, whatever you want to call it, but I pray. I give myself 10 minutes to be thankful, to to acknowledge or say out loud all the things that I want to come into my life. And what's cool is I'm seeing those things happen. It's happening. Number two, absolutely, unequivocally, no alcohol at all. And I like to drink. I like wine. I like to have a cocktail here and there, but haven't done it, will not do it. And it's been absolutely good for me. Some people that's not a thing for them, and that's great for you. But for me, it was a thing. So I wanted to do something like that to really challenge myself and give me that chance to just break free and get certain parts of my life in a better place. And drinking um, as often as I was, even if it was one glass of wine, that was I didn't want that anymore. Okay, so wake up first thing in the morning for 10 minutes. I give all gratitude, thankfulness to God, and I think about all the things I want to bring into my life. Number two, no alcohol, not at all, not even a little bit at all for these 30 days. Number three is that I'm eating 3 meals a day. And if you understand the Diet Free Life methodology, every meal is protein and slow carbs. I don't have any fast carbs as part of my meal. Okay, now I can have a fast carb as one of my snacks if I want, but as part of my meal, which is for 30 days, 3 meals a day, that's 90 meals. So, yes, I have found myself bored with my meals at times. I have found myself really wanting, some things that are fast carbs. But again, I made the commitment. I'm seeing it through. And then the fourth thing is to exercise a minimum of 30 minutes each and every day. And that's been going great. And what's interesting about this, and I'll close, is that I was battling to get in a workout 3, 4 times a week. But since I made this commitment, I'm doing it every day. I'm making time. Nothing is going to block me from getting in my minimum of 30 minutes. Now, I think all of my workouts are probably over 30 minutes. I just gave that as a foundation, as a boundary. But I'm hitting the weights, I'm performing cardio, I'm going for hikes, I'm going for runs, I'm going for walk runs, I'm hitting the circuits. I mean, I'm hitting the bag. I'm doing everything I possibly can to keep myself entertained, and my body is adjusting great. I'm loving the transformation that I'm seeing, I'm witnessing, but we're not there yet because I'm in transition. So there you go. I hope this information helped. I hope I inspired you. I hope I've, uh, I don't know, did something to help you continue to like keep the momentum going. If you are someone I've worked with in the past and you need help, reach out to me. Don't allow ego to block you from from getting the help that you know I can provide. Don't do that. So many people allow ego. I watch some of my coaches and business associates I work with, they know that I know a lot about business, but they don't reach out because of ego. It's like ego blocks people from asking for help. It's mind blowing to me. And it's okay. I see nothing but strength in a person who's willing to ask for help. It takes strength to ask for help. And if you go back in history, you will see that some of the people who have made the biggest commitments or made so much progress and have contributed back to society in a big way, they had no problem asking for help. So there you go. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for giving me some time. I appreciate you. Um, yeah. So yeah, Natasha, I gave you a big shout out. Um, it's been interesting, you guys. Very interesting on the meals. And I haven't had one salad, meaning no lettuce. All my salads this month have been either cold, sometimes I add warm food to it, but I've been eating a good amount of like my salads are just mixed vegetables. Um, or like beans I'll add to it, like chickpeas, stuff like that, black beans as my slow carbs, but then I'm a lot of vegetables, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. I'm cooking it. Sometimes things are raw, and it's been amazing. It really has. I realize I like salads that are made out of slow carb vegetables. Who knew? I would have never known that. I love it. It's so much, and then I'm not using um, uh, like salad dressings. Now I have some that I do pull out and use. One of them is Skinny Girl because they don't have seed oils. They do have sucralose, but I'm okay with. I mean, it's kind of like between the two. I don't want seed oils. I'm okay with sucralose, and I'm good. But a lot of times I just use hot sauce, and I'm happy to. And again, I'm not avoiding lettuce because it's bad. I don't have anything against lettuce. I just haven't been eating it, and I like it. And I have this recipe book that goes back to 1895, and it's fascinating in this recipe book that has a lot of recipes in it. There's no seed oils in any of the recipes. There's a lot of fat and stuff, and they make salads, and all the salads, whenever they refer to them, they're just all vegetables. There's no lettuce. So I did go and do a little bit of study and research on the invention of salads to include lettuce, and I discovered the very first salad with lettuce that became any kind of popular was a Greek salad, which is interesting. Um, and you know, and it wasn't the way it is now. It still had a lot of tomatoes, it had onions, it had like all of these other things, and then a Cobb salad, I think, shortly after that, which was mostly vegetables to include like chopped up boiled egg. Um, but yeah, it's fascinating. Try it if you want. Remember, it can be cold or it can be warm. Now, some people just say, well, that's a stir fry if it's warm. Well, I mean, call it what you want. I cook it and then I just add my protein to it. I mix it all up, and then I eat it in a bowl, and I'm a happy guy. So, not against lettuce, just not eating it at this moment. All right, day 16. I'm loving it. I am loving it. I mean, I actually had someone look at me the other day and they said, Robert, there's something different. And I go, I don't know. They go, man, are you aging? Are you looking younger? Like, what's going on? I said, I don't know. Maybe it's just a good day. I got a little sun, maybe. And I just kind of left it at that. But what happens is, even when your focus is not on weight loss, when you're doing things like what I'm doing and what a lot of you are doing, your body is not as inflamed. So you look leaner. And you are leaner, but you start to look not as bloated. And even on people who are pretty fit, you can still see this happen with them. So go meet with someone, go talk to someone who hasn't seen you in a while, and in a short period of time, you will look like you've lost weight, and that's because you're less inflamed. And even very fit, healthy people can be a little bloated or inflamed. Okay. All right. I talked way longer than I thought. Anyway, you guys have a great one. Until the next one.